Aloha and welcome to Knitted Paradise, where the needles are clicking and the yarn is squishy. My name is Lucia, and you can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as Pearl of the Pacific. Today is Monday, July 4th. Happy Independence Day, everyone. And this is episode 126 of my knitting podcast. Hello, everyone. Welcome. I hope you are having a lovely holiday weekend. We celebrated mostly yesterday. After choir, we had a big picnic with a bunch of our friends, and the town just north of ours sets off their fireworks on July 3rd, like the night before, and so we were up there, so we watched those fireworks. Our city does them, and I think Chicago does them tonight as well. They'll actually be pretty close to our house, so we may walk down and see them tonight. But we did most of our festivities yesterday. Today we're just kind of hanging out. Did a couple errands, doing some stuff around the house. Did my cardio workout this morning, even though I would have rather stayed in my PJs. And now I thought I would say hello to all of you guys since I have some time, and the rest of the week will be crazy. Yesterday was really busy, that's why I didn't record yesterday. But today, I'm mostly just home doing stuff here with some knitting and other things. So I thought, hey, let's get a podcast recorded so that I can say hello to you and show you all the fun stuff that I've done or acquired in the last week. And yeah, seems like I've been recording on Mondays the past 2 times. I need to switch to Mondays. It's much better to do it during the day rather than when I get home from work, just because the lighting's better. There's a huge window over here, which is why it's always brighter on this side. But yeah, so it's better to do it during the day. Although the sun sets really late here. I'm still not quite used to that. I grew up in Hawaii, which is why this podcast is knitting themed. So if you're new, thanks for checking me out or checking out the podcast. And so that's why everything's kind of island themed. And the sunrise and sunset don't change that much in Hawaii. And also they don't do daylight savings just because the sun doesn't change that much. And so it's still, even after almost 6 years of living here, I'm still getting used to it. It's a bit odd. I'm like, oh, it's 7 o'clock. And then I realized, no, it's like 8:30. Like, oh, no wonder I'm kind of getting tired. So anyway, let's get on to some knitting. Oh, let's get through some announcements first, actually. Just looked at my show notes there. The Night at the Theater Shawl Cal has wrapped up, and I'll do prizes separately because there was only 3 people in that one, and I hadn't figured out prizes yet, so I will contact them and deal with it that way. The Friends annual Fraternal sock swap cal is still going on. Please post the pictures of your swap as you receive them and as you're knitting with your swap partner in the thread, and that's been really fun. I've now gotten both of my swaps, and I've been holding off actually knitting one of my socks because I was knitting so fast and my partner hadn't gotten her package yet. I was late in mailing it, so it's totally my fault. But I was like, oh, I'd like to knit these together, not just like whip through them. So I've been kind of savoring them, and we're planning to do a hangout session this afternoon and chat, do a video chat and knit on our socks together. So I'm really looking forward to that. So that is happening, and I guess those are the only 2 announcements at this point. If you were part of the fitness along, that has just wrapped up as well, and that was really fun. I really enjoyed that, and if you are interested in doing one in the future, there will be another one, just in case this one didn't quite work out for you timing-wise. I know with the holidays and other things, and, stuff happens. So I will definitely be doing another one of those. It was really fun, and it was really motivating and helpful to keep me on track. So that was really good. All right. The under the coconut tree question I'm going to keep for later because it's related to something else, so I'm going to keep that. But let's jump into some knitting, actual knitting on the island. So I have my blueberry waffle socks, which are the ones I'm doing with one of my partners from the sock swap cal thing. And this is what they're looking like. The main color is, where is it? Freckled Whimsy, Hope Floats in her Whimsy base. There we go. So that's the Blueberry Waffle pattern, and I've turned the heel now. I've gotten a little bit on the leg, but this is a super quick pattern to knit up, and it's really, really kind of fun. And here's the other one. I'm using the donut stitch markers that came in my swap package, which is fun to keep track of where things are. Because I actually, once I switched to the leg, I don't like starting the row on a purl. And so I swapped, I just kind of two stitches to the back over here and then 2 stitches to the front over here. So it's still the same in the front and the back, but the beginning of the row is actually in the back here. So I put this in the back to remind me that that's the one that starts in the back. And then this one's in the front to remind me this is one where the row starts in the front. It doesn't really matter, you just knit, but when you start the ribbing at the top, I like to start at the same point. So, because this one will be shifted off a little bit, just because I swapped things from front to back, but now I don't have to purl at the start of the row. It's just hard, and it's hard to get those tight for me, and I find I get more ladders that way. So I did my deep pocket heel, same as always with the bottom of the foot gusset, and yeah. So this is, what is this one? Raventwist Starri in the Thunderbird colorway. It's really hard to get the tonal quality of that. It matches really well with this. We did really good. Yeah, we did. On our swap color. It's hard to send pictures over text to be like, hey, is this color going to work with your yarn? Hey, is this color going to work with your yarn? We went through a whole slew of things to try to get one that would match. But we did well. So I'm excited to, those will probably get finished up this week. And yeah, so I've been enjoying those. And it's that. Okay, so my other sock swaps was, here we go. I've just done the toes. This is the yarn she sent. It's a sparkle. It's funny because I was knitting along. And I'm not used to knitting with sparkle. I don't knit with it very often. I think this is like my second time knitting with it. And I was knitting along and I saw this thing and I tried to pull it out of the yarn and I realized that's the Stellina. Sorry, that is the Stellina. Can't talk today apparently. Not something else. I was like, oh no, leave that in there. So I just left it in and knit it up. Gosh, I can't talk today. I'm sorry. So this is how they're knitting up, and I love the colors in it. So this is the toes for those, and those are going to be the Wildflowers and Honeycomb Socks by Olivia Villarreal. And the main body of the sock is going to be in One Twisted Tree Prime in her Hinkypunk colorway. Just like a grayish purple. And I think that's going to be perfect. So I'm just about to start that. And yeah, so that will be happening. I started these yesterday. I was going to choir and I was like, oh my god, I don't have anything to knit on. It's stressful, man. Not having things to knit on. I'm at the end of, I knit in batches. I know I talk about this a lot, but I knit in batches where I cast on a bunch of things and then I kind of finish them all at the same time. And I've kind of finished all a bunch of things and I didn't have anything that was easy. So I was like, oh wait, I can start those socks. So I grabbed the needles and I'm knitting those in size 0. And which I'm realizing I like that for my socks. So I might need to get some more zeros because I only have one, which is why I'm knitting those 2 at a time just because I have 2 size 0s, but they're both 40-inch cables. One has another pair of socks on it, and so I only have one free. So that's what those are on. So I started those yesterday, and yeah, so I'm really excited about that. And the other thing I started yesterday was a baby sweater for my cousin's baby, and she is due this week, actually, and I'm really excited about that because my birthday is this week, so we might share a birthday. This might be fun. So I started the baby Sophisticate pattern, which I've knit before. I knit the twin sweaters out of it, in actually the same yarn, and so I started that yesterday. I'm just about to start for the sleeve, so I've knit the front here, and then I was like, oh, I need to put the sleeve on a holder, and I didn't have it with me where I was sitting, and I was too lazy to get up at the moment, so that's where that is, but I'm just about to split for the sleeves. And I'm knitting the 6 to 12 month size just because I want the baby to be able to wear it for longer. And if he's being born in the summer, he's not going to wear it until the winter anyway. And they live in California, so it's not that cold. But I wanted to him to be able to get more wear out of it, so I made it a little bigger. But this is Holiday Yarns in, I forget the colorway. But that's what this is. And then, because I'm not going to have enough of that, I have some Linden Fiber Arts Poison Apple, I think is this colorway. And then I have some Sun Valley Fibers Kent colorway. This is the Dramaturg DK, I think, and this is her DK, BFL DK, I think it is. And I think this is a DK too. And the previous, I knit 2 baby Sophisticates for some friends' twins. We're about to turn 9 months. They're so cute. I saw them yesterday at the picnic. Oh, they're so chubby and cute. But I did one sweater out of blue, one sweater out of red, and then did the trim in this. So I'm going to, I did the yoke in this. I think I'm going to do some red next, and then maybe do the sleeves in blue or stripes, or I don't know yet. I haven't figured it out. But I don't have enough to knit the whole sweater out of that. But yeah, so those 3 are going to be an adorable baby sweater for my cousin's baby. And yeah, so all of a sudden I realized, I was like, oh, she's due this week. Maybe I should, start a baby sweater. I'm going to see them in August when I go to California for my other cousin's wedding. So I'll probably just give it to her then. So it's not a huge rush, but I thought maybe I should get started on that. It isn't going to take very long. I mean, that was like an hour, maybe even less for that. That was me trying to figure out the directions while not really having, I had to like take a screenshot of them on my phone so I could have them. And I didn't really bring enough stitch markers, so that was interesting. And it was kind of like a grab it as I went out the door kind of thing. Didn't really plan ahead. Not a good plan, but it worked. I got through the yoke of the sweater, so that worked. All right, so that's what's on the needles this week. What set sail was I finished my shawl design out of Two Guys Yarn Company, and I'm not going to show it to you because it's mystery knit along, but it is out to testers now. They are testing it, but I'll show you the yarn. It's a 2-color shawl, and these are the yarns I picked. This is Tangerine, and this is Sweet Pea. This is Kiss Tangerine, Little Sweet Pea, and Kiss Tangerine. That's it. And their standard sock. This is the other one. The other way. Let's see it. Kiss Tangerine and Little Sweet Pea in the BFL nylon base. And I really like this base. I actually have a whole ton of it for another shawl project. But this is what I used. It's a 2-color shawl. It's mostly garter stitch. It's pretty simple. It's 5 sections, so there will be 5 clues that will release one a week. And I think what I'm doing with my testers is releasing them on Fridays so that you have the weekend to work on it, and then the week, rather than releasing it on Monday. And then sometimes things get crazy, so I thought weekends we have most time to knit things, so I thought I'll release them on Friday. So I'm testing it out as a mystery knit along with the testers, and they're on their first week right now, and things are going well so far. I haven't heard anything too bad from it, other than questions about which yarn should be for which, like which yarn should you start with in terms of colors and things like that. Because you could use a variegated and a solid. I wouldn't use 2 variegateds together, or 2 like solid, semi-solid tonals. Those are kind of all similar. And you'd want to, I think I said start with the, I'll figure it out when I actually release it. It'll be in a while. Yeah, so I've got to weave in the rest of the ends on that. Probably wash it and block it today. But the knitting part is done, which felt really good. I sent it out to testers, and they're like, what's the gauge on this? I'm like, well, I haven't actually finished it, so I haven't washed it and blocked it, so I can't actually tell you. I felt really bad. And I'm like, it's going to be done soon. So I figured out the last section. I'm really happy with it. Things will be going well, but that will be done today. So that got finished, and then I also finished my Mirkwood socks. Well, they're not my Mirkwood socks. They're for a friend of mine. And this is out of 3 Irish Girls Adorn sock in the Marmalade base. And they have this lovely cable that goes up the side, which I actually did without a cable needle. It's a 3/3 cable, and I did it without a cable needle just because I didn't have one. I was at work. This is another one, like, I need something to knit on, and so I grabbed these as I went out the door and didn't have a cable needle, and I was like, okay, we're going to figure this out. And it really wasn't too bad. I think my gauge was loose enough that I could. It wasn't too bad to do a 3/3 cable without a cable needle. But these are done. I really like the pattern. It was really simple to knit. The hardest part was keeping track of the rows in between the cables. We have this kind of tray of things at work. They're little cubes or little like colored discs. They're meant for like counting or showing things. Anyway, so at work I just would grab a number of those and kind of have them by me. And then as I would finish a row, I just move a counter and finish another row and move a counter. That worked really well, actually, because I didn't have a row counter with me. Unprepared. I know, terribly unprepared. This was like the week of being terribly unprepared. But it worked. I made it work. That was really it. And I'm really happy with these, and my friend is really happy with them, and that's what counts. So these will be going off to her soon. And yeah, so those are done. I really have a lot of red and blue this week, which is kind of appropriate for 4th of July. The other thing, oh, that's it for set sale. We're on set sale. I need to remember what section I'm in. You'd think I'd remember how to do this every week. Somehow a week goes by and I'm like, wait, what am I doing? I don't know. Anyway, from the mainland, I got a whole bunch of stuff on Friday. It was a party in my mailbox. To quote the grocery girls who use that, party in my mailbox. Yeah, totally party in my mailbox. It was great. It was like, oh, I have a birthday this week and all these packages are coming in. None of them were for my birthday in particular, but it was really fun. So I started my birthday week out right. Yeah. All right, so let's do from the mainland. I'll start with my swap package from Debby of the Periscoping Sisters. This was a podcaster swap organized by Melissa of the Spicy Homemaker podcast. It was really fun. I'm really enjoying her. She's a kind of new to me podcast. And the Periscoping Sisters were also a new to me podcast. I just hadn't had time. They were on my list of things to watch and just hadn't had time. But I've really been enjoying getting to know them. So that's been really fun to get to know some people through this. I mean, that's really one of the reasons I started podcasting, was to get to know people and connect with more people in the fiber community. And doing swaps and stuff has really allowed me to do that, which is really fun. So let's start with, it was a Christmas in July swap. So we sent little handmade ornaments. I got 2 little socks, which are just so cute. She told me what yarns they were. Let me get out a cute little card. She sent me this cute card. All right. Where is it? All right, pink and yellow is Sweet Georgia, which is really fun. And then this is Voolenvine. Very Christmassy. And this is on my bucket list of things to knit, is Voolenvine. And Sweet Georgia I have knit with, which is really fun. But I'll talk more about bucket list knitting in a minute. So that will be fun. All right, so these are cute. I have to figure out how to hang them up back here. And I used to have, my garland is gone. I had a garland of things, and then I had the garland of the buntings, and then that just got in the way, and things got shifted over a little bit. So, all right, the other thing she sent was some cute little note cards and a stitch marker. And this is a, I don't know if you can see that, it's a starfish, which I think is super cute. And it says, made with love, and a little heart, so it's like a double stitch markers. And she said that she's from San Diego, or not San Diego, she's from California. She's near San Diego, I think. She said the progress keeper is meant to be a symbol from San Diego. So I really like it. Starfish are fascinating to me. They're super cool. And then she sent me these cute cards that say, dream big, shine bright. And this one says, always be brave. This one just says, hello. And they're little note cards, so they come with envelopes. And I just thought those were so cute and perfect to put into swaps or packages like that. So these, thank you so much, Debbie. I really like these. And the other thing that was part of the swap was to send some mini skeins. And so she did her research and looked up what my favorite colors were and totally nailed them. Oh, I also got some Smarties. They're on the bottom here. These are delicious. I try not to eat them. Keep them from my husband from eating. So my favorite colors right now are kind of like minty, greens, yellows. I mean, that's what my blanket's going to be. Or my blanket is. And yeah, so she totally nailed them. I love this pastel yellow. And then there's this like green, blue. I think there's pops of purple in there. And I don't know what this is. It's like seafoamy, minty, green, and it's got like a dark greenish gray in there. I don't know. It's really cool. So these are little minis she sent me, which I just think are so fun. So I really enjoy these, and I think they will definitely go in my blanket. I don't know if she said, she probably did, and what yarns they are. I don't remember. Anyway, I'm not going to sit here and try to figure it out, but I really like those. So thank you so much, Debbie. Ah, things fell on the floor. That's okay. I'll pick it up later. So that was my package from Debbie, which I really enjoyed, and she got hers, which she enjoyed, so yay for swaps! I had fun with that. Alright, the next thing was I had posted on Instagram that I'm about my blanket, and I said if anyone has minis in those colors and wants to send them to me, and Amber, who is Yarnhorder, said, oh, PM me your address and I will send you some. It's like, okay, sounds great. So she sent me a whole stack of minis. Sorry, there's going to be some crinkling because she put them in plastic, so warning you now. But here is the stack of glorious minis. Aren't these great? So she sent me a card with, I think she's crocheted this blanket. I just think that's so fun. And some wrappers for your hand knits. You can take these and like wrap them around, and care instructions here or whatever you want to put on there. So that's really fun. So thank you, Amber. I have a whole bunch of these now, which are great for gifts and things like that. And then she sent me a whole host of minis, so I'll show them. I didn't want to take them out of the plastic because they're so wrapped, so nicely wrapped up. So I got a whole bunch of grays and yellows and blues and greens and mints and awesomeness in all sorts of sizes and types of yarns, and some of them are labeled, some of them are not. That's okay. It doesn't really matter to me. So I'm really looking forward to putting those in my blanket. I now have, I resisted putting them in my blanket so I could show you them all nicely wrapped up. So those are going to be splendid. A ton of minis. And I know there's a couple more being sent. So this is the blanket, if you haven't seen it yet. I'm trying to balance things on my lap. So this is the blanket so far. It's a little wonky because I needed some grays to put in. So now I have some, so I can continue adding things. So it's going to be mostly yellows and mints. So this color is kind of one of the things I'm going for, but like light blues and kind of that similar greeny, bluey, minty goodness type stuff also works. So this is my tiny little blanket, but that will be growing very soon. So thank you so much, Amber. I'm very excited about putting all those. I think I'm going to need a bigger bag. I'm keeping it in this bag right now because it's minty. But I think I'm going to need a bigger bag because that's not going to fit in there. That's okay. I think as I knit things, then I can take other things out and then it won't be so full. But I'm really enjoying that. So I'm happy to have more grays to add and lots of yellows and mints to continue on growing it. So that's exciting. And the last thing I got, good thing I have show notes here, otherwise I totally forget this, was last weekend I was sitting in bed checking Instagram, you know, as you do, trying to get like motivated to get out of bed. And I noticed that Voolenvine was having an update in an hour. I thought, you know what, if I get up right now, put my laundry in, do my workout, I will finish at about the time when she's having the update. And then I can buy some yarn. But I have to get up now and do all these things so I can buy some yarn. So that was all the motivation I needed. So I scored some Voolenvine. It was a mad dash. It was pretty much like refresh the page enough, see what I wanted, and I had kind of knew what I wanted beforehand, but it was pretty much like, ooh, pretty yarn, put in my cart, check out, buy, done. As fast as you can. So this is what I got, which is just amazing. So this is the Succulents colorway on her Volca base. I had contemplated some other bases, but I'd heard so many wonderful things about this base, and so I thought, you know what, I'm just going to go with this. So I put it in my cart, purchased, done, shipped. So I'm very happy about this, and this will go splendidly in my blanket as well. I think this is going to be the talisman shawl from the Shawl Society from Helen Stewart. Helen Stewart, is that her name? No, I can't remember. I think it's Helen. Of the Curious Handmade podcast. Now I want to know. I'm like totally butchering this. I know I can't search fast enough. Anyway, Curious Handmade, Shawl Society. I think you've probably heard about it from other podcasters or on Instagram. So this is going to be the Talisman Shawl, which is the first pattern. She's just about to release the second one. And I was like, oh my god, I haven't knit the first one yet. I mean, you don't have to, but it's really pretty. So I got this to knit that. Very excited. So, yay. So, what I wanted to talk about was bucket list yarn. So, now we'll go into Under the Coconut Tree. And I was wondering if you had a bucket list of yarns you wanted to knit with. I totally have a bucket list, and this was on it. So, I now have it. So, the first thing about bucket list is you have to purchase said yarn so that you can, or acquire said yarn in some way, so that you can then knit with it. So I have a few yarns from my bucket list that I haven't knit with yet. This is one of them because I just got it. And there's some other ones. I need to look this up. Hold on a second. My phone's right here and I have my bucket list of yarns on here. In a list. Yarns to try. Voolenvine. Haha, I can cross that off. A Homespun House is another one. Junk Yarn is another one, which I am going to get some of that, so that's coming. Hedgehog Fibers is another one. Baron Vola. Gail's Art Sock Blanks, because they just look amazing. And there's probably some other ones. Oh, the Plucky Knitter and Into the World were on my list for a while. I now have those yarns. I have not knit with them yet, but I have them. So now that I have them, I'm like, oh, I'm one step closer to actually knitting with them. Now I need to find the perfect pattern. This is the thing about like yarns that you revere and you're like, oh, I really want to try that yarn. And then you get it and you're like, I don't know what to knit with this. I just want to pet it. So I have a few of those. One Twisted Tree was on my list for a long time and I now have that. So, and I've knit a couple pairs of socks at it and I love it. There will definitely be more in my future. And Mustache was also on my list for a really long time, but I got some of hers with the R2D2 colorway. And yeah, so that was really fun. So I was wondering what is on your bucket list of yarns to knit with, or even like patterns to try. Sometimes people have like, you know, a really complicated sweater that they really, really want to knit, but haven't found the perfect yarn or the time or things like that. So I was just curious what's on your bucket list of things to knit with or knit in general. And I think that's it for this week. I'm now going to clean up my little pile here and maybe wind some yarn. Maybe I'll wind this up and get it ready to knit with. And yeah, enjoy some 4th of July-ness. So I hope you all have had a great week and have a great week coming. I should be able to podcast next week. Yeah, my birthday's on Friday, which is really exciting. Don't know if I'm not going to do anything crazy for it. We're just going to have like a low-key celebration and do some fun things. So that's kind of the plan at the moment. But yeah, so some of that was, this was kind of a birthday present to myself to get. But my bucket list yarns are like, if I see them and I can get them, I know I've been wanting them for a while, so I just kind of do it. Anyway, I'd love to hear what's on your bucket list. So have a great week, everyone, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye!